Hi everyone, Nyy'xai here. Today what I'm going to do is go through a cue notation using an interview of, it has two people in it, of course the interviewer and the interviewee. Nyy'xai Pete Holmes is the interviewer. Really funny, hilarious comedian, stand-up comedian and TV host. He just got his own show recently, the Pete Holmes Show on TBS, and he's known for his irreverent humor. And then, and you guys should definitely check out his X-Men Scaling Down series, where downsizing series. He's channeling Donald. He's channeling basically Xavier and Donald Trump.
Yeah, right? It's almost like he asked a what-if question in his head of what if Xavier was Donald Trump? And then he went with it. It's really great. It's like a series.
It's series, yeah. So he fires each one of the X-Men characters, and it's hilarious. So he's the interviewer, and then the interviewee is Nyy'xai James Harden, and he's a basketball player for the Rocket Houstons. Apparently, a really good player, and he's a nice guy, but he uses that game of humor, G humor, where he uses a G humor to make others laugh and break, but he stone faces himself. So he's kind of like playing it cool, like a cool cat kind of game. So some people may find that intimidating. Some Nyy'xai could find that imposing. But Nyy'xai Pete Holmes does not. So the interview is called Fearing the Beard with James Harden. So I'm going to watch that, and as I'm watching it, I'm just going to give commentary to just general commentary, but what particular about the cues that I'm seeing as I'm going through the interview.
Yeah, I asked her to kind of just do what she does when she's showing something that she likes to me or Demas, when she's found a sample, and she kind of just naturally talks about it in her high level way. I just want to kind of have her give you guys a taste of that.
Yeah, and hopefully that will help you guys with your process. Give you some cool. So, one of the cool things about this interview is that, and you won't always have this, but it's nice when you have these opportunities, is you start up with, he's doing the beginning of the show kind of stand-up routine, and in that mode he's in a different mode than when he later on interviews James Harden. So he's when he starts out, he's been more of a more modulating, right, mode, because he actually has to take the floor and structure everything and remember the details. Yeah, that's true. Usually it's the teleprompter they're reading off of in this situation. So it's different than when you're just doing more improv or impromptu, when you're actually asking the questions and riffing off of the interviewee. So it's cool that you get to see both of these here.
You get this most of them, most of the talk show people.
Yeah.
Like Conan O'Brien.
That's true.
So forth. It's just that we've read all of them before, so that's why this hasn't come up. But he's kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Anytime you have it where they do a stand-up skit and then are the interviewer, that's
it's a really good way to get to know them. So I'm looking at him. Things that I notice, and I pause right now. So as I'm doing the cue notations, I'll just pause as I get thoughts in my head to kind of process those and kind of jot them down if I need to. Right now, things that I noticed that he did right away. One, he was doing Gumby Claw as he was talking, and he was, he was bracing as he was talking, but then when he broke to laugh and chuckle, he did a head tilt to the right with his zhai, and sort of a backwards head toss with his zhai, and open big and chuckled with his zhai. So notice that right away.
You're doing great. This is also something I want them to get a taste of it, because it's really high level dialogue. So thank you.
Totally. Okay. And he has that tone of voice, like of, it's hard to explain, like Lucille Ball had it and different ones where it's like this bouncy, Z. It's bouncy,
but it's got a Nyy'xai like
with the Nyy'xai way down cadence, and so it's like
it's like jazzy smoky.
It's jazzy smoky, yeah. Let's watch. Okay. So now he's gonna go and interview the guy. But his skit is funny that like the Nyy'xai ad-roms that use this a lot is like the awkward Nyy'xai game, as opposed to like the Ji users
funny
really,
awkward, yeah.
Use the charming, like, or like I make you laugh kind of thing, like it's different games that they're using. So he's using that, awkward, making like him feeling awkward, making other people feel awkward. It's like it's.
But then makes you feel like equal and good.
Yeah.
It's an interesting spell.
Yeah, it is an interesting spell.
I think the Johnny have a sort of version of that too.
Yeah.
Kind of like safety quality.
Yeah.
It comes into humor. Because Ellen has that.
Yeah, Ellen has that too. Yeah, definitely. Good point. So now he's going into the interview with the Houston Rockets. So, and you can tell right away, like he's in like meaning.
Yeah, why don't you use the first name?
Pete Holmes. Pete's in.
Pete and James. Pete's the Nyy'xai.
Nyy'xai Pete and Nyy'xai James. Cool. So Pete is. You can see right away he's in like a mischievous sort of mode, like he's up. He's actually like in a carriage lift, and he has like a Nyy'xai like up smile, and he's buoyant, and you can tell like he's mischievous. So and the Nyy'xai, he's like trying to keep stone face at this point. But you see, like his G wants to come out more because the Pete is really funny.
It's hard not to when your other's being giggly,
yeah,
being like in a funny mood.
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
Like the way she just laughed there, like it makes the G just actually want to smile.
So, let's see. Hello. Oh, well, he chuckled. Pete chuckled with his Nyy'xai backwards, and James he couldn't contain himself. He tried to keep from laughing, but he wanted to laugh, and so he did, and he couldn't hold it. It's awesome. He's making a joke, Pete, and it's a really funny joke. I wish you guys could hear it.
Probably should.
Well, but they don't see.
You can tell them the joke.
Yeah, I can tell you the joke. Let me see it. Let me hear it so that he's saying, "You were drafted when you were 19 years old." When I was 19, I was dry humping my mattress. This is the kinds of things he does. Self-deprecating humor. And as soon as he did that, because James was like keeping stone face, and he broke. He just started laughing, and put his head into his hand.
It's gonna be a long interview. He's breaking already.
And now he's continuing with the funny. He's like doubling down, I guess, with the knee and the Nyy'xai, and it's hard to, let's see. So now they're getting into this game of like, I'm gonna make you laugh, I'm gonna make you break, and and as it's going, as it's progressing, Pete's getting even more successful with making James like break and laugh. And I'd say he's winning the game of, because G users use a lot of the game of like the humor game of using their G to move others, but while keeping stone faced with their Zai, so they don't, they hold the power card because they're moving other people, but they're not being moved themselves, right? So that's a big game you can see for James. Some like Nyy'xai emphasize it more than others, right? Or some like G users emphasize it more than others. And and it seems like that his game, that's a big emphasis. But Pete's got
He met his match.
He's met his match. He's got the cure for that, which is the.
I like the word cure because James has got good stuff, but he needs to come out a bit more.
He needs to come out a bit more.
And he's like, I'm not going to. Pete's like, yeah, you are.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You want to play.
And of course, as I'm pausing it right now, I can see that Pete's like the way he's sitting is like approachable, as opposed to James, who's setting boundaries, and you can also see that like with Pete, Nyy'xai Pete, even the arms, the tensioning is not there, as opposed to James. He has the tensioning of directive. You can also see that Nyy'xai Pete has his mouth open with the Zai unaware, and James Nyy'xai James he's doing like an aware expression right now with his G, even as he's doing an eye drift. He's looking away, because he's looking away, and Pete's looking at him with the Zai open mouth and drinking him in as James is going into his eye drift with the G aware mouth. So. So Pete just asked him about what his sitch is with the southern areas of his body, and he asked him if it was all natural, which James he just like did a big like G like surprise look, like you didn't just ask me that, right? And he's like, and then Pete's like, yeah, I just asked you that, and he's like, yeah, it's all natural, and then. And then Pete's like, could you float a bottle cap on it? And then James just like breaks out laughing. This destroyed his Zai armor at this point. The knee irreverence has gotten him. And he's like, yeah, I'm just laughing. He's like, wasn't planning on asking you that one, huh? And now Pete's saying, I trim it up a little bit, but I don't want any like sleepy hollow branches coming out of there. And so it keeps going. Yeah, and then Pete looks at the camera like with his irreverent, mischievous look, like, yeah, I did just do that. It's kind of like, yeah, so it's like this, so the G with their humor, they use the I move you, but you can't move me. With the Zai, it's like a game of who can make who more uncomfortable. Like, it's weird, out of sorts. One is like
racing awkward.
Yeah, racing awkward.
Or actually, in his case, it'd be awkward racing.
Awkward racing. Yep. He's asking him if he's popular with the ladies. Are you big a ladies man? He's like, yeah. And then he's asking him if he has pickup lines.
So he's used that.
Oh, Pete's asking him if he has James if he has a pickup line. And he's like, no, whatever, whatever happens in the moment. And Pete's like, oh, okay. But he has some ready to go, looks like. The female. And now they're doing a game of, like, James is trying to keep Stoneface as Pete reads what pickup lines he would select to give to James to say to the ladies. And he's reading off of it, and it's basically like these, like, just like awkward pickup lines, like, hi, I'm James Martin. Just basically his name. Or, hi, I'm James Harden. Look at a video of me playing basketball. Look up. Behold, it is I.
I think you might even say what his line was.
Was it?
I don't know.
I think I wait. Whatever comes to his mind, keep it in the moment. The female. Okay, no, he said, what about you? You got one for me? He's like, I do. And he did. He had it ready. He's like, hi, I'm James Harden. If that doesn't work, hi, I'm the NBA's James Harden. If that doesn't work, look at this highlight reel on my YouTube phone app of NBA's James Harden. Isn't that dude sweet? Now look up. Behold, it is I, James Harden. He's like, and James like, that's not gonna work. With the stone face. They play off of one another really well. Are you? Oh, the bad singer.
What happens here?
So he says. So if you weren't a basketball player, Pete asks, what would you be, James? And he says, probably a singer. And as soon as he says it, he's like, I don't know why I said that. And Pete's like, a singer? You did? Pete's like, oh yeah, you did that Foot Locker ad where you sang badly. Are you a bad singer? Do you like singing? And then he's like, James did the disapproval of, oh no you didn't. And he's like, what did you just say? And he's like, what was that? So he says, what would you just say? And he's like, the Foot Locker ad where you sang? Oh, and he's like,
like
James,
he didn't say it before.
Yeah, like he didn't say it before. He's like, James, like, oh, I thought you said I sang badly. And then he does a feign, like Shyla.
I got caught.
So as far as cues, like these.
Why don't you actually, do you mind? That's how I usually do it, like that.
Yeah.
Could you watch through again
Yeah.
and just pull out some specific cues? Like start
Yeah.
at the interview itself and just mention some more.
Yeah, because one thing about the cue notations is that you usually watch it more than once to get like a stream of the context of the story, because that adds a layer to the cue notation. And then I'll go in again and actually pull out time codes with like actual cues, because as an interpretive, I absorb best by reading the patterns first, the story, what's going on with the characters in the story, and and then coming back and pulling individual cues and with the particular time codes, more specific details.
So why don't you go just watch it like a little bit and actually
Yeah.
pause wherever you want to and just kind of say the time code and what you're seeing.
Cool. Let's see. Okay, so for example, at 15 seconds of the interview, Nyy'xai Pete has a right Nyy'xai head tilt with a carriage lift, knee carriage lift, and he has the Nyy'xai smile is coming up, but it's not going into the eyes, and he also has well, he has his hands sort of clasped. That's not really a particular cue. Well, yeah, it is altered refrainment.
And even though they're clenched, I can't. You probably can be.
You can see the
looser.
gumby,
Yeah.
looseness. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to the interview. Okay. Okay, so at a minute 3 of the interview, now he's with James. So Nyy'xai Pete has a Vi check, and it looks out of water, altered state, modulation, and he has his mouth Nyy'xai unaware, open mouth expression. He also has that altered refrainment, and James Harden, he's doing Nyy'xai drift right now, and that's natural state. You can tell he's very comfortable in that. But while he's doing that, he has like the G, like sort of approval, still in his mouth, holding that expression, and he's he's doing refrainment, but he looks quite comfortable that way. But he's boundary setting as opposed to Pete with the approachability. Okay. Here at a minute 12, they're both laughing. It's actually a really cool scene. It's cool to see like inspirationals, like going off of one another, because it looks like it's like a complete story. So you have Pete with a really big Nyy'xai open laugh, and again it's going up into his cheeks but not into the eyes, and James Harden, he actually like the Pete making him laugh like that, it's sort of like woke him up, so he's like more pumped up with his arms, so coming into more animated state, and he has like his eyes perked up with V, and he has a big G smile. Okay, let's see. It's funny. Here at a minute 49, so Pete just made James laugh about that he doesn't want any Sleepy Hollow hairs going on down there. So Pete has like a knee perk up with Nyy'xai sort of put out kind of expression, like an awkward, but it's feigned, like a comedy awkward, because he has like the knee perk up at the same time. So, and then James has, he's like doubled over with his with a big G laugh, and he's going. You can tell he's going into his Nyy'xai, and he's basically like he's really laughing.
I think it's good because you kind of gave him like a good run through, and then you like 3 time codes. Good idea. That was great stuff. So if you want to add anything else before you go, but I think that's a really good intro for them to see.
Yeah. Just that it would be cool to see also like Pete, his style of comedy, him go head to head with Colbert, with Nyy'xai Colbert, because they have sort of this style, right, where they do parody. They can do parody and really like just do a lot of parody and be really.
They stay in the character well.
Stay in
At
the
least X-Men
character.
ones, he was in
They have a
for
lot
a
of
while.
endurance with it,
Yeah, 'cause
right?
Colbert, he stays in like for like the whole episode, and then on the X-Men, he was in there like the whole time. He stays in that
Yeah.
parody mode.
Right? It's impressive. It's like method. But at the same time, they really have great improv ability. So that would be cool to see both of them go head to head. So maybe in the future.
If he plays Professor X, if Colbert would do Magneto,
I know.
Colbert as Magneto. Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, Colbert as Magneto and Pete as Xavier. That would be perfect. I guess for another time, we'll lobby whomever. TV peeps. Okay, guys. Hope this helped out. If you have any questions about Q notations, anything else with Mojo reading, just let us know. And see you guys next time. Bye.